Hi, this is Jim Ziegler, and this is the Dawg Pound. Special guest, I got to tell you, we got a young mother. She's got 2 teenage children. Her whole world crashes in on her. Her husband passes away unexpectedly, and all of a sudden, she's a car dealer. Oh my God. A good friend of mine, I met this woman about the time all this happened. And she reached out to me and she says, Jim, can you help me? And I was on the phone with her and we were talking all the time. Remember that, Corina?
I definitely do. Definitely do.
And then she met my beautiful smoking hot trophy wife, Debbie, and they got to be friends. And Corina Diehl, one of the premier dealers in the whole state of Pennsylvania. She's kicking ass in Pittsburgh. I mean, she's got all these dealerships. She started out with one. Hi, Corina.
Hi, sweetheart. You just love me, though. This is a little nepotistic, okay? This is all about love because we met a long, long time ago. But hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. You are a guest I really wanted on this show for a long time. And now, the Duchess of Productivity. I'm talking about one of the most brilliant women in the car business, maybe the universe, my friend, April Simmons. Hi, kid.
Hey, I am so super stoked for this conversation, especially to have it kind of come on the heels of missing out on women in automotive, and so kind of getting to have this conversation of just overcoming so many obstacles, and just I think that's kind of the name of the game right now for the whole universe, right? Is obstacles. So no better person than Corina to help tell people how you can overcome obstacles. So excited for this conversation, Jim.
And now, direct from Moscow, Russia, the sleeper cell himself, the curmudgeon, the king of reinsurance, Max Zanan. Hi, big guy.
Hey, Jim, it's good to be here.
Oh, it's good to have you here. How's business? What's going on with you? Anything good?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. You know, the harder it is to sell cars for car deals, the more money I make, right? Because they realize, right, that F&I is the promised land, right? During COVID, when you can crack somebody $10,000 over sticker, F&I kind of got backstage, But hey, we're back.
Hey. Everybody lost their edge during the parts shortage. I mean, they forgot how to negotiate. Managers forgot how to be managers. Some of them weren't even in the business before COVID. And the intergalactic queen of BDC, Miss Bobbie Herron herself.
I really like this new name that I've been given. It's fantastic. Just going internet, not even just international. Max had it for a while, but now intergalactic, I'll take it.
Intergalactic, and
yes.
the empress of executive management herself, Miss Jennifer Briggs. Hi, kid.
Hey, Jim. Speaking of agility and bobbing and weaving, we have power out at my place until 7 tonight, and I've got some power cords draped all over in here because got to do what you got to do, right? The show must go on.
Things are. I mean, I don't know if you remember, I got hit by lightning.
I remember that episode.
Broadcast one time.
On air, hit by lightning.
Threw me back. It right through my headset.
That was
Corina.
Crazy.
You're the star of the show today. You are the reason we're here. Tell us in your own words, how did that story unfold?
I could take up hours with the story. I'm not sure which part you want to hear, Jim, but first of all, let me tell you, I love all the introductions. We should do this every day. Okay, get us pumped up in the morning. You can put us all on a pedestal and we'll just go about our day. What part of the story, Jim? The part where he died, the part where he was on life support, the part that it wasn't supposed to happen, the part that I took over, the lack of respect, there's such a
Well,
gamut.
Toyota really wanted you to have the store, right?
Toyota was actually wonderful. Yes. I mean, I had two manufacturers at the time after Matt died. So from the time he died till the time I actually walked in the store was about 4 weeks, right? I mean, you would imagine that your world's spinning. I've got a 12-year-old, I've got an 18-year-old who's in college. So walk in and we're kind of cruising along and I'm doing everything everyone asked me. I had an attorney and I had fabulous friends, Jim and amongst others, that I'd call and say, hey, what do you do? I was in the car business previously as a fleet manager, but it's a whole different world when you're the car dealer, right? And nobody really liked me at the store. I mean, I was battling internally, externally. So I spent probably 9 months appeasing the manufacturers. They'd say, hey, give me a list of what you're doing I mean, I danced and jumped through hoops and I mean, whatever they ask, right? This is my livelihood. And one of the manufacturers just didn't want to approve me. And
I heard about that. We're not going to say which one.
Right. Yeah. And, and after I played this game for 9 months, they called me and they said, listen, they're not going to do it. They've never done this in the history of our company. The attorneys aren't going to approve you. And then I did okay, now I'm going to play mom and bulldog and I'm going to go to the media and I am going to expose you guys because you're going to take away our family business. I got to prove the next day.
Were you crying? And
hell no, Jim. I was fighting. No time for crying. I'm crying in my office. I don't like when people cry in my office.
You could be a feisty bitch, can't you?
Oh, all day long. This is
means that in the best way.
Yeah. Oh no. I listen. I'm from Jersey. It's survival when you grow up in New Jersey, right? Different breed of person. And again, I wasn't letting them take this away from me. It just wasn't I had 2 kids. It was my husband's legacy. It was you can't just come take this. And I had qualified people there, right? It wasn't like I just walked in off the street. Not that it was me, but we had the same staff that was there when Matt was alive. So it just didn't work in my brain.
Absolutely. You've got your own clothing line now. I saw that.
I love you, dude. I'm telling you, I'm going to call you every morning for my morning pep talk.
You got was it Survive and Thrive?
Survive and Thrive, a foundation I started that I'm still working on really getting it off the ground. It's kind of hard when you're a car dealer and you work, and I think you can relate, April, you kind of work a tremendous amount of hours. I mean, I go to work, I come home and I still work. I'm still trying to I'm getting better with the off switch, right? But I'm learning that trying to do other things are kind of difficult because when I want that free time, I need to just shut down. Like I put earpods in, I go ride my bike. You got to turn off, as we all do in any job. So, but that's going to be prioritized on my list.
April,
I love that.
What questions do you have for this woman?
I love that so much because I think that's something that we all struggle with in automotive, especially is how to have that balance to know, okay, how do I prioritize things? I mean, that's something even this year that I've struggled with is how do I say no when this person is asking for this and that person's asking for that, and you want to be there for everybody and we want to do all the things, but ultimately you have to find ways to prioritize and break that down. What do you feel like in those, especially in those early days? Because as I mentioned, I think there's a lot of obstacles right now, right? Like everybody's dealing with these obstacles of, sales staff who never sold cars before. They don't really know how to sell. You've got managers who is me and all these different things. How do we help prioritize and get them back on track for their own personal time management to say, hey, here's what you can do and how to do it?
If you're asking me, April, I will tell you that my team only works 5 days a week. I've cut back store hours. I'm adamant about them leaving taking long week. I know this sounds crazy, but this isn't the old school car days.
Wait a minute. Where did you learn that from, Corina?
Where did I learn that from?
Yeah, where did you learn the 5-day work week? And this woman showed up at one of my seminars in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was the first time Corina took my seminar. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. You know, it's funny though, when I first started, I was working 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week, but I had to. You know, again, it was survival, trying to learn, trying to adapt, not letting people know I didn't know. Right. So the biggest thing, the biggest gift I gave myself was not letting anyone know I didn't know, but I was always on the phone. I was always like, hey, what's this? How do I do this? What do you think of this? Right. Friends. But no, the 5-day work week and you're on totally is something that's really important. I encourage my teams, everyone, go watch your kids play ball. You know, really, what are you going to miss? That deal, that's why another manager is there to cover you. Now, I don't play that way at the end of the month. Okay. I don't want to hear it. No vacations. We're in the car business.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's so important if I could only learn my own rules. Right. Like,
well, yes, I'm the queen of that too. Do as I say, not as I do. Right.
Yeah. But as you know, I don't get to quit. I still owe the banks money. I can't resign to anyone because I've had a shitty day. Right. So I think it's a little different where I sit, where my son sits in terms of the company. But I think that regardless of your position, and I'm not talking clerical because their world's different, right? They come in, they do their job, and they leave. But I'm talking about people that spend a lot of time, that are under a lot of pressure. They need to get the hell out of the store, right? Go, get out. And I'm really good at kicking people out. I'm really good at saying, you know, they'll say, well, I burnt through my vacation. I don't really care. It's just go, right? You get what you give, just give it back.
So, Corina, just a follow-up question to that. What has been...
My hands, are they flying everywhere?
I know.
No, I'm just saying, get out.
Yeah, exactly.
But what have been the advantages of you having that approach versus other dealers who still don't have that approach? What advantages have you seen by doing those kind of things, by saying get out, by giving them a 5-day work week? What is the advantage of doing that?
Well, I think it's longevity and it's certainly retention from my end, right? I when you think about it, you're going to leave me to go somewhere else so you can work 6 days a week and work bell to bell and never get to see your kids. And, you know, those are the old days. People don't want to work. I mean, you know, you have our old school managements that still thinks that way, right? But at the end of the day, to recruit younger people, you're so funny. I had an itch. To recruit younger people, we've got to have that flexibility as companies in general. That take us car dealers out of the equation, right? If there's no time for family, what's left? And take it from someone who lost their husband. He doesn't get to see his kids, right? He didn't watch them grow up. He got to his 46 years and out, right? He checked out. Where I missed a lot of my daughter's high school years because I was busy staying alive. And gosh, if I could only take back the ball games I missed in the state championship I couldn't go to. And that was a mental thing. I just should have gone. Right. I should have gone.
Yep.
But
Max, what do you got over there?
Well, first of all, you know, I'm really excited that I know you don't want to mention the manufacturer that wanted to terminate you, but I'm really psyched that you were able to stick it to them, right? Because these guys, whoever they are,
you don't want to mess with this woman.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
I'm a crazy bitch.
I'm pretty sure it's one of the big three. You know, if I had to bet, it just tells me how smart Toyota is, right? Toyota does not make mistakes. Right? They didn't jump into electric. They didn't terminate Corina, right? They know how to work with dealers, you know, and other OEMs should take, you know, a moment and really understand what Toyota does for their dealers and why they're so successful. And the fact that you were willing to go to the media, and basically take them to the cleaners. I mean, I take my hat off to you,
Oh,
because
thank you.
there are not many guys, like Jim says, that have testicular fortitude to do this,
Well,
and I really, really respect it. But my question is the following, even though you had experience as a fleet manager, right? You walk in, and are you taken seriously by your staff,
hell
or
no. No.
You're a girl. Girls can't run
I-
dealerships.
Take it one worse. I was someone's wife. Right. I wasn't even the woman. I was someone's wife. And look, I kind of get, in hindsight, it's easy to go, my goodness, what would I have said if I had worked for this woman for years and she's gone and the husband comes in and they're just changing things slowly, right? Or they're there. And I mean, it was change and it was a shock. Yeah, I had internal struggles, external. I battled for years. I mean, I'm surprised if I didn't get Botox, I'd have 50,000 more wrinkles, right? Like, seriously. I mean, it was constant battles. It was battles because they didn't like the way I changed things. We paid 100% of healthcare back then. I couldn't do it even back then when you start to look at the numbers and and that's where I started. I'd start to look at, because now remember, you wouldn't know, it was April 07. Well, then shit, 08, 09 rolls around. We're not selling shit. My daily deposits went from $500,000 to 40,000, right? And I didn't lay off one person, but I'll tell you, I dug deep, I cut everywhere I could, and we survived. But the battles, the internal battles, were not as bad as the external battles.
You still got the internal battles, don't you?
Well, I do in different ways, right? But as an employer, and anyone can relate to this, my expectations are really high of my management team. I was telling Jim before you guys got on, I was at a manager's meeting this morning, which is my screenshot into the world, right? Sit around with all your management team, and everything's on the board in front of everybody. So they're accountable to me. And there were several items that I was, and two of my key people go to my meetings with me because I just have to look at them and they know, like, this is an issue, take note, talk about it when they leave, kind of thing. Or the finger goes up, and whatever. So, I mean, oh yeah, they know. They know what's coming when the meeting's over, and I excuse everybody but them, right? So.
But is it like jailhouse rules? You got to come in and really show your dominance and lay down the law, slap somebody around.
What's terrible, Max? Like, today was really a nightmare because I've been out of office. My mother is 86. I was visiting her for 2 weeks. I should not come back and have my blood pressure go up. Just the way it is. It's just, I pay these people too much money that if they can't freaking see what I see, which is common sense while I'm gone, and address it, I don't need them. And quite frankly, again, their job is to keep my stress level down.
Right.
To take care of issues, right? It's like everybody has a job. Pick your job, right? And when you have people that work for you, it's their job to handle the issues they're assigned to. So yeah, I mean, I know I don't I throw the hammer down once in a while, but it's sheer stupidity. And it's from people that I pay a lot of money to that I have very high expectations of, right? I can't beat up the sales manager because he's responsible to the GM. The GM's responsible to that key person that's overseeing 3 of my stores. So, right, that's the person I'm going to.
It all rolls downhill.
Shit always goes downhill.
But it starts with you. It starts with you.
Right, but again, going back to this morning, I shouldn't have. I call my son immediately when I get in the car because he's like my direct
Now, what
guy.
role does he have in the dealership? That's important.
Well, you know what? My son's a genius. He MBA, CPA, attorney at law. Okay. and he does none of those things that
That's a trifecta, right? Trifecta
Oh.
that every Jewish mother wants, right?
Everyone, I did it, right? I got it done. I couldn't get him to go to med school though, and I tried. I said 4 years and 4 boards. I did. I tried so hard. But so Matt's vice president. He's owner in several of my companies. He owns 2 of the dealerships himself that I helped him get.
Good job, Mama.
Yeah, that's what I'm a single mom. I have 2 children, right? I make them buy in, they get skin in the game, they put up some cash. And
you're single, aren't you?
yeah, Jimmy, you know any great single guys?
Listen, Miss Debbie, you're talking to the wrong Ziegler, Corina. You got to talk to Miss Debbie.
But Corina, would you date a civilian, or you would only date a car dealer?
That's a good question.
I would date anybody that was pretty awesome, attractive, athletic, that could buy me dinner once in a while, that wouldn't be intimidated. Here's the other side.
Can I get an amen? I would do the same.
Right. You know, it's hard being who I am in Pittsburgh because I have 22 stores. I do my own commercials. I'm everywhere.
22 stores, do your own commercials. I mean,
hey, it's a lot.
Guys, a single woman and she's rich.
Right.
Oh, okay. I owe the bank a lot of money, Jimmy. Don't forget.
Right.
On paper, you're
no
super
gold
wealthy.
diggers.
Oh,
No pineapple on the gold digger alert. No, those guys can stay away.
No
We're
gold
scrubs.
diggers.
We're taking it back to TLC
No
style
gold
over here.
diggers. No gold diggers. Hey,
Do you
Jennifer,
do commercials with Pittsburgh Penguins?
pardon me?
With Penguins, the hockey team.
Yeah.
You do commercials with them?
No. I run commercial spots when they play. Pittsburgh's a huge sports town, right? So yeah, and it's a good audience for me.
Right.
Karina, I'm gonna come to Pennsylvania and take you out. That's what I
love
think.
Jennifer, this woman, French martinis, got Debbie so stinking drunk one night.
Okay.
Listen,
we had cocktails.
it's okay.
Yes, we did.
Miss Debbie is the best time. So I'm
She is the
sure
best
that
time.
they were just living it up. And I only joked about that, Karina, because the last time that we were down, Miss Debbie asked if she could fix me up with someone. So, but she's got a list. You could check in with her for sure.
She's a real yentl.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hello.
She's got fingerprints, background checks. She's game on.
Love that. I'm calling Debbie, not you, Jim.
Yeah, it's the right way to go. We'll co-sign that.
Yeah. Jennifer, what would you say to Corina right now?
Well, I mean, I think, first of all, just thank you for being awesome and doing what you had to do. And I know you're going to say it's just what I had to do. I just had to survive. And so many of us just do that. Trauma happens. We kind of go on autopilot and we just go. But it is amazing what you've accomplished. And I love that you stuck to it and you did what you had to do to maintain that business for your family and those 2 kids through that trying time. And then to follow it up with another ridiculously crazy time right after, right? That is insane. I remember those times I was cashing contracts that day at credit unions just to keep things flowing. And so when all of that, or when, I guess is the question, with going through the initial shock and jumping in and taking over, the battle with the OEM, and then the 2008, 2009 craziness, like when did you breathe? How long before you took a moment to kind of step back and see what you had accomplished?
Well, first of all, thank you for all the kind words, but I didn't do this alone. I get way more credit than I deserve. I truly do. It takes a team to run a house, right? I probably haven't stepped back yet to answer the question. Life just goes on. I mean, you turn around, it's the days, it's the weeks, it's the months, it's the years. And I keep buying stores. I don't know why. I'm about to buy another collision center, which I love. If you're in the car business, if you're a car dealer and you can get the right people to run collision centers for you. I don't know that I've ever really sat back and gone, hey, look what you did. Right. Because again, as a parent, which is look, I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and then I'm an employer in that order. Right. I look at my life like I've done what anyone would do in this circumstance. Is it crazy? Yes. Have I been fighting men for years in every aspect? It seems like it. It's gotten a lot better now because of where I'm at, what I have, right? I've 22 stores, 13 franchises, 7 collisions. I mean, I've done a lot. With
Corina, when I first met you, we talked on the phone a lot, but I remember you were not as confident as you are now. You were not. I remember you sat in the back of the class in that Caesar's Palace in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You were sat way in the back, and you were timid as far as you were not as confident as you are now. Where did the confidence pick up? Where did you get the
So I'm going to tell you, I still sit in the back and try to avoid people. I don't know that that's changed much. I think, as we all know in our careers, as the years go on, it's who I become. I was probably always confident but quiet. And I think a lot of times that works for me. I can sit in a room and I can observe and I can be quiet and I learn a lot. I find at times it's overwhelming, and we all know this. When you deal with people all day long, right? In and out, I'm in the showroom, I'm talking to customers. It's my 300 new emails every day that I deal with that are actually.
And all the vendors want something.
I don't deal with them anymore.
How'd you get rid of that?
I passed it on to someone else. That's the beauty of employing 1,400 people now, right? Right. And even customer complaints, I'll get them. I'll pass them on when there are issues. I'll respond that we're addressing it. And then that department will call when we get resolution for the customer and let them know what we did. So I'm old too, Jimmy. I mean, part of being old, you just get confident because you just don't give a shit, right?
That's the spirit.
You know what? That is so true. Like, the older and older I get, the more and more I don't care about other people's opinions. Like, it's true.
It is. I mean, unless you're in my family or a friend, I really don't care because everybody's very judgmental, right? I get some of my dearest friends will tell me about people that'll tell them that I inherited all this and I don't do anything. And would they say that about you guys? Would they say that, would they say that about a man? Hell no.
They would not.
No, they wouldn't at all. It's me being a woman, and you guys can relate. I can't tell you how many dinners I've been at that are OEM dinners where somebody will say, so where's your husband?
No, they don't.
Yeah, and you know what I say now? He's dead.
I would too. Well,
straight up.
Make it. Sorry,
I mess up their heads. Like, fuck you. You think that I have to be here with a husband? So
she's allowed.
Well, no, because when I tell you he's dead, now what are you going to say? You opened your dumb mouth and you made an assumption that I couldn't be the car dealer, right? So you won't ever do that to another woman. I promise you.
Absolutely. Bobbie, what do you got over there?
Man, I gotta say, Corina, I followed you for a little while, and I think that your journey is a testament to some incredible strength and resilience. I know from being in positions nowhere near similar to yours, but it's hard to look at it when it's you and say, like, yeah, you're right, that was, because you had to overcome some adversity and roll through things. But facing a profound loss of your husband while being a single mom to becoming one of the most powerful women dealers in Pennsylvania and across our industry, that transformation and that confidence, it's inspiring. I just came off of Women in Automotive, where I'm a board member and a big part of it. And so I was fully immersed in it. And these are questions that people ask there because they're going through similar things. They are different, but they are similar. So, I mean, I would like to know, like, what advice would you give to young women who are aspiring to enter and succeed in our industry, especially in leadership roles?
Yeah, you know, thank you again for the compliments. You guys are really good for my ego. How's my
We're
hair?
really genuine.
Your hair looks great too.
We're really genuine. So, you know, if we say it, it's legit because we're not known for saying things that are just nice.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you all. You know, again, I think women belong in the automobile industry. I think we as women need to help, you know, starting at a high school level and going to career fairs to get women to join us in this industry because there are so many avenues. To answer your question, I believe that you have to be strong, stand by your values, fight for what you believe in. It may get you fired once in a while, right? But at the end of the day, I think if we bow down to because let's face it, I don't have a GM female, not that I wouldn't hire one. I haven't had any female GMs apply, right? But you know, you're dealing with men, and look, nobody knows everything, right? So I believe that if you're comfortable in your thought process and what you're doing, and you're doing it morally and legally, you need to stand up for what you believe in.
Right.
Because that's how what I've done. You know, right or wrong, and if I'm wrong, please tell me. You know, that's where we're in a bit of a democracy at my stores. I'm still the dictator, but right at the end of the day, it's got to be a conversation where I think women tend to back off from the adversity side, right? They don't want to deal with it. We were raised to just do what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Certainly in my house. But I got in trouble a lot, so I guess I screwed that up.
I don't know what's happened here.
Well, I'll tell you, we just had this full conversation at Women Automotive. The class that I taught was on balancing life and the power of being able to say no. And it's a big part of it. We have to be open and willing to hear the voices of the people around us and to be willing to be bought in and to collaborate. But we are taught our whole lives as women that our value comes from what we do for other people and not what we do for ourselves. What kind of mom are you? Oh, you showed up at every game. What kind of friend are you? What did you do for somebody else? And it is a constant that we have to work to unwind in order to gain authority in leadership positions and run a high performance culture. It's not an easy road. So it is really inspiring to see that you're working through it. And I still assume every day.
Every day, but I've said no my whole life. I'm definitely that girl and I've taught my kids to say no. If you don't want to do something, just don't do it. You know,
just say no.
Just say no, or
no
I can't.
Sentence.
And you don't owe anyone an explanation as to why, which is the problem that I see with a lot of people. It's no, I can't because. I don't owe you an explanation. No, I can't. No, I just don't want to. Okay. No, thank you.
Yeah. So, I'd rather not. Thanks.
Right. And I think women need to learn that it's just okay, because otherwise I'd go.
Whoa.
Oh, no, we lost her.
You lost her. She'll join us back.
Wait.
I mean, who are we donating to?
I know so for the audience, while we're correcting this, just so you know,
I don't know who we're donating to over there.
Restream just did a massive update and they've changed the screens, and this is our first time playing with it. So
what just happened?
The donate button. We don't know what it does. Try it. Let us know.
I'm gonna try it.
Did you? What happened?
I'm trying it right now.
Where's Corina?
I'm trying it too, but it doesn't work.
It's too the other stuff's in the way of it. I can't get it.
We don't know where that goes, guys.
Okay, what happened to Corina, I wonder?
Well, she froze for just a second, so maybe she lost Wi-Fi, but right before we lost her, so she should be joining us back shortly. Hopefully so. She's a great actor.
I see her.
Awesome.
There we go.
There she is. Okay, what happened to Corina?
Well, I think we're playing a puzzle game here, which is kind of, you know, that game where you slide the pieces around. I never left. I got stuck at the bottom, which is the only place.
You did?
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's technology, right? They did a massive update and it just released this week. And so everything
This is kind of fun, guys. I
Yeah.
like it. We don't know what's coming next.
That's
right?
the
With
guest
over
stars.
8
You can get
million
back.
broadcasts
Oh,
and
hey,
over
look,
600
video
million
going.
viewers engaged monthly,
I have no
Restream
idea
is the
what's
number
going
one
on
tool
here.
to increase your
I mean,
You know
audience.
Bobbie,
what?
what's
The good
going
thing is,
on?
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
real life. This is what
Here we
real
go.
life looks like. This is what it looks like
Exactly.
when you're on a webinar. It's what it looks like when you're having a conversation.
You
Things like this
changed the
happen.
format on me on this screen.
Well, whatever you just did worked because now we have
Yeah.
no video and no QR code. So we're
Yeah.
good.
We're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting rid of all of that.
So can I
hate
say
this
I really
new
liked
format.
what you said. I'm a strong believer in the power of no being a full sentence. And when I was just at Women in Automotive in my class, this is what we were talking about. And I had a whole room of people say, but you can't just say no to everybody. And you absolutely can. You absolutely can say no. And you also can decide from there if this is your tribe of people, if these are your friends, if this is where you want to work, if this is the career you want. And you get to do all those things under the guise of being you and standing up and taking your own seat at the table, man or woman. It's important.
Well, as a people pleasing Gen X childhood trauma, oldest child took care of like everyone. No is difficult. And I think when you reach a certain level of confidence in your career, it's a lot easier. But for some of the folks, because we're following up on a question of what to say for women who are coming into the industry, or maybe they're trying to advance their career, and no sometimes can feel impossible to say. And I think one thing I've learned recently, working actually with, it was a gentleman who had been with the OEM for forever, and then he became a director of operations, running, multiple, responsible for multiple businesses for somebody just like Corina, right? And he had said to me, he goes, well, here's the way you phrase it. If you're too nervous to say no, you say, I would really love to be able to assist you with this project. I did have a question. What other project do you want me to deprioritize in order to get this done for you? And I think because that is something we really do struggle with no. And I know it took me, I'm 44 years old now, and it took me until I would say really only 4 years ago to be 100% comfortable saying no, maybe 5 years ago. And so I think that really helped me, because it wasn't me shutting them all the way down. It was bringing it up like, listen, I would love to be a team player, because we're always told we have to be team players, right? Just a way to say, if I could, I would. So you tell me what I can juggle, because I know for me, I feel like I'm juggling everything already. But, I just wanted to follow up on that, because
Good point.
It's hard. It really is.
Yeah, it's a good point. You get a best friend like me, like she has, where I just say no.
Yeah.
And she says it politely.
She
That's
says
what
it
you do.
for me sometimes. And ironically, it's funny is I can't tell anybody else no. And she can talk everybody into anything except for me. I'll tell her no.
She'll
all
tell me
day.
no in a heartbeat. She should practice that with other people.
I'm
look at
working
the
on it.
practice. But no, and I like your answer, because again, I think that, and I look at what we require of our GMs, and with my key people, I've said, how much more do you expect them to do? And when do you expect them to do it? Right. And again, you're talking a whole different pay scale, right? And I was talking to somebody yesterday, because I hired them from another company, an engineer actually, that I'm running through a training program. So he's a year in, and it's not an 8-hour-a-day job. It's a 9-10 hour a day job.
Right.
But, and we talked about what he's making, and he gets it, because I also believe that there's balance, right? If I'm going to pay you 100, 200, 300,000 a year, my expectations are different than someone who's minimum wage or whatever it is as a bank teller. Right. And it just cycles through. It's no different than your office staff is different from whomever. But no, I believe that regardless of the industry, we as leaders tend to ask our key reports to do a lot of things. But in that situation, you're right. What do you want me to prioritize? What a great response that is.
Yeah, it was wonderful, wonderful advice.
Wonderful.
That was
Absolutely.
Chad Kirchhoff. I think a few people.
I
on the
think
show
that,
know
yes.
Chad. He's the one who he was like, he said, "You're insane. You're going to burn yourself out. You have to find a way to throttle that. So
Right now, here's the flip side though. You're in your late 20s to late 30s. This is when you're climbing, babe.
Yeah.
Okay. So it depends on where you want to see your life go. Right now,
You have to say yes in your 20s to everything.
Well,
Well,
you don't. You have to prioritize balance.
I mean, if you're a millennial or Generation Z, then of course you don't. But if you're a Generation X or a baby boomer,
No.
you say yes to everything.
that's
No, well, baby boomers say yes to everything because it's what's been taught their whole lives. But when I say no to things, I'm not saying say no to putting the work in
right.
or say no to putting the hours in. I'm saying say no to that does not lift, prioritize, or finalize something that you're trying to achieve. It's very easy. I came back from that conference in full throttle, right? Full throttle the whole time I'm there, speaking, navigating, doing all the things. And you know what I do when I get home? I shut my phone off for 24 hours.
Good for you.
And
Yes, you did.
I absolutely do. And I do it every single time. I actually turn it down for 48. It goes completely off for 24. And then the following 24, my DND is on. That means any priorities that need to be addressed for clients, for family, for myself are handled before I go back into.
I just learned that I'm not important.
That's not true. I texted you back yesterday. That's not true. That was when the DND was on. You're on the DND. But that's the thing, right? So if Jim calls me and we're doing something together and I need to take an hour to do something, there's somebody else I'm going to say no to. It's not about just saying no. It's about prioritizing a balance and making sure that you have time for all the things you commit to. Because there's nothing worse than overpromising and under-delivering. I don't care what you're working on or who you are. When you fail people that way, they don't think in the back of their head, well, she had 17 things she said yes to, or he said yes to, and they're doing it behind the scenes.
Right.
You can't be the best version of yourself or run a high performance business of any kind if you're not balancing those priorities out appropriately.
Totally agree.
So
Bobbie,
Corina,
it's true. All my friends know this is. I make it very well known. I've learned, and Corina, you tell me if I'm along the right track with you too. I've learned that people will do anything for you and accept anything that happens with you, so long as you set an expectation, you're genuine, and you care and you follow through. And outside of that, people don't give me a hard time about the 24 hours because the expectation is set.
Yep, I totally agree with you. And I think being upfront about all of those things makes life really simple, right? I mean, that's the way I've been living for a long time. My cards are always face up. So you know where I stand, you know where you stand, right? I may not be happy at a certain moment and you'll know why. And then I move on, right? I don't carry it. Today I carried it a little because of the level of annoyance from my key people, but you have to let go or you just smother yourself and destroy yourself, right? I mean, it's so important to move on and go, okay, we're done with that. Let's go forward.
So I'm really curious, as you've grown and scaled, right? You're 22 dealerships now. How many collision centers did you say? 7?
7, 8's on its way.
7, 8, right? Yeah. So because, right, you have your key people that you're holding accountable, and then they're then working with the rest of their teams as it goes through. As you've scaled, are there some tips or tricks that you could share with us that's helped making balance those things easier, or are you just spinning more plates?
I have to tell you that we struggled a lot with all of this growth. I mean, it was a tremendous amount. One year we bought 9 stores. So if you think about spreading your team really thin, the 6-pack we bought was just, I mean, they were still writing repair orders on paper. Okay. Just to bring you into, if you could imagine. And
I can imagine.
I mean, computers weren't just a tool they used. And we bought that store almost 2 years ago. So
that's your store.
it is when I bought it, trust me. And we were like, how's this possible? But you get old school people and they don't want you. And that's probably why they sold, right? Like it all made sense. It worked for me.
Well, there's no excuse for it.
I hear you, but some people, you get these older.
Anybody being old school. I'm saying.
Jim, you're breaking up.
The
but
universe froze him. The universe was like, nope.
Yeah. Well, I think because I've gone through acquisition with some stores like that where they weren't even really using a DMS. They were using
yeah.
green ledger paper for accounting. I think there are just certain, it's not necessarily old school, at least because I started in the accounting
It's a
office and then
mentality,
came into
Jennifer.
operations.
It's a mentality.
I'm just saying it's the expense of some of that for a store that is coming up for sale that's not that profitable. Those softwares are expensive.
A lot of things are expensive, but I would tell you that what we learned was we needed directors of every department, right? That was really huge for us. And for me to spend the money to hire the right people to oversee the given departments. But one of the best things we've done, you know, and I still think we're spread a little thin for the number of stores. My son, who watches every penny, will tell you we're fine. I mean, I think I need another person here, and we'll get there. You know, if I buy another store or another 2 stores, then we'll just, it's working well, the structure.
Hire the best people and pay them too much.
And I agree with you. You get what you pay for in every aspect of life, right?
Yeah, so I have a question. So between the 22 GMs and you, there has to be another layer of management.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't deal with the GMs.
And do you trust that layer implicitly, or do you still do spot checks and go into the store?
I spot check everything.
Yeah. It sounds like you have 2 layers, right? You have like some type of pod directors, and then
do you check the invoices, and do you measure the vendors? Are you doing that yourself?
No, my son does that.
Okay, but somebody in the family's doing it. Somebody that has skin in the game is doing it.
Absolutely. And
even when you hire smart people and get out of their way, you still got to quality control check the work to make sure you inspect what you expect, right?
I love that. And that's correct. And again, I have a routine daily of certain things that I'll look at. I mean, you'd be amazed at the things I'll actually pull up to see what they're doing. You know, again, spot checking every department, looking at different things, because we get so far out of our realm. When you see, you know, when we had our first 70 people, it was easy. Yeah. Right. 2 stores, 1 campus, 70 people. I hate to say it, I don't know a lot of our employees unless they're wearing a deal jacket or their name tags or it, you know, but that's what happens when you grow to the level we're at. And it's okay. You know, as long as their team knows them. I've driven into one of my stores and someone came out. I was in the car on the phone.
And they upped you?
They did.
I'm
so proud of them.
That's good. That's good.
So proud of him. And then he wanted to die when I said, no, I'm good. Thank you. I'm Corina Diehl. I really appreciate it. I thought he was going to die. Like, I just thought he was going to die.
Poor kid.
Hey, Corina, I was working for Robert Stovall.
Okay.
Robert Stovall bought a truck for his dad, and his dad came in, Robert comes out of the dealer office. He said, Ziegler, you laid my dad away.
I love it.
I sold him everything.
Exactly, right? You did your job.
I laid the dealer's dad away. Right? Service contract, credit insurance. He had everything. That man was
took care of him. Yeah, you took care of him.
You made him into a last time buyer.
I love it. I love it. That's so cool.
That was the way we do business. My gosh, you know, 22 stores. What's the future?
In the automobile industry? You know, we could talk about that forever.
We're all trying to get you a guy, but what's the future?
I love you. I would tell you, I like finally the pushback on EVs. I've been saying it for a year. The market's not ready for it. I'm hoping that we get a different president in that will take care of the inflation that's happening, that will help with our interest rates. I think that's huge. I think AI.
You speak my language, Corina.
Well, I mean, look at where our world is. It's a scary place, and I think Trump's a good businessman. I think he's toned it down a lot this time around. He's not doing the baby name calling and the stupid bullshit. And he's a good businessman. I know our president that we currently have can't speak 2 sentences from a teleprompter, but, and again, we look at inflation and the world's going crazy, right? So hopefully that'll happen. I think that AI is going to play a huge portion in all industries, but ours, when I look at what it's capable of, we're using a few demo products, we're using AI. I think that a hybrid is the way to go on cars. I think that customers will continue to want to spend less time in a store, where we have to be savvier as car dealers to find ways to cut their time down that they're at a store. And yet they're the same people that complain, but they want to test drive 6 cars and they want to look at every color, and then they'll slap us for the amount of time they're
2 hours is the right time, not 45 minutes. 45 minutes is absurd.
It is. And then, you have F&I, where the government keeps slapping us. And you know this. I mean, these people have to sign 110 pieces of paper, and, you get every 1 in 10 actually reads a few of them. And, we need to get them the products that they need. I wouldn't buy, as a car dealer, would not buy a car today that's a computer without an extended warranty. It's absolutely insane if you're going to keep that car, because we all know these things are just big computers, and we're not even talking electric, right? I think that, we'll continue to do what we do. I think some of our manufacturers are really missing the mark. Where I have other manufacturers, and again, having 13 franchises, I have the luxury of seeing who treats who and how and what. I mean, Toyota's incredible. The Japanese do an incredible job. The Koreans, I love Kia and Hyundai, and and I look at some of my
the Koreans are great.
Listen,
it's the big 3. I'm a little confused.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. I mean, the Koreans are the greatest partners. I can't say enough about their technology, their products, their styling, their warranties, the way they deal with their customers. But the Japanese do the same, right? I think that if some of these manufacturers don't get in the game, especially now when, listen, it isn't the time it was. We aren't giving them away. We aren't making big bucks. We're back to invoice and whoring ourselves out in the industry, right? We're back with some of the franchise.
I saw a photograph the other day of a truck on a dealer's lot with a bird nest on the tire.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was a real photograph. Real photograph.
Well, I got to tell you, I would have an issue with whoever wasn't walking the lot, but get the damn bird's nest off, right? But no, we're sitting on some old inventory in some of our stores with those manufacturers that are doing nothing to be good partners.
Yeah.
Right. Because we are partners. I mean, I'm a franchisee, yes, but at the end of the day, if I can't sell your product, you're not making money. But I do see hybrids in the futures. I see electric cars. I think it's another 10 years before people are, I won't drive one, but I drive a lot of miles and I don't want to stop. I'd rather get gas in my car and watch it go down and not worry about turning my heat on or my air conditioning on because I'm going to run out of battery. Right. And I don't know, I don't live in LA where I'm only driving 5 miles either. Right. I mean, I live in Pittsburgh. It's suburbia to a degree. It's point A to point B takes a while, but car dealers are going to be around. I get, you got VW trying to push Scout away from us. I'm a VW dealer. I find that offensive.
I find that offensive.
I do. I find it offensive. I mean, look, Tesla did what they did. More power to Elon Musk. He played the game.
Do you personally deal with Volkswagen?
I deal with the regional manager who's incredible. Right.
I accidentally snuck into a dealer make meeting with a fake badge on.
Accidentally.
Wow.
20 years ago, a Volkswagen. And the Volkswagen German guy was on the stage.
Yeah.
And the dealer said, "Why don't you send us more automatic Passats? We can why?" And he said, "We drive 5 speeds in Germany."
Yeah.
He said, "But Americans don't drive 5 speeds." And the German guy said, "They will learn."
Yeah. Now, Jim, I got to tell you, they've come a long way.
Yeah.
With VW's product, I
love the VW brand.
Oh, the product is good.
I do too, and they're subventing their rates. And listen, they're really being progressive right now, and I'm really thrilled about it. Right, where some of the other manufacturers
Are
aren't.
you going to say the same thing when we're off screen?
I would.
I bet she does.
I don't give a shit.
I bet she does.
Listen, I say it to them. You know, at this point in my life, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to try to hold allocation from me? No, I do like VW.
Please.
Right. They can keep the cars, right?
Yeah, keep your cars. If that's the way you want to play, I got 12 other franchises for you, right? No, but I do try to be a good partner with these guys, but there's a few of them that are really making it difficult right now. I have some inventory that, you know, 732 days supply nationally. Think about it. And they're not doing shit. Right.
730 days supply.
Can you imagine? Like, and it's really hard because I don't understand it. Like, if I'm not selling, I'm not the only dealer in the country that's not selling them if there's a day supply that high.
Right.
Right. What are you doing for us? What are you doing for yourself? Like, this is a business for all of us, because if I don't take any more of your inventory, and I'm not going to be the only dealer that doesn't do that.
Right.
You're going to sit on your shit until you come around. Like, I don't get it.
You mean the $120,000 Wagoneer is not selling like hotcakes?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I was super excited about that product.
I was excited about that product.
I like the lines. I like the interior. Like, I thought they did it.
At $70,000, I would be excited about it.
Me too.
And look, they were competing with what, Land Rover, Range Rover, whatever that is, and trying to get in that market. I think that, you know, that car hasn't sold well. Hello.
Right. Well, it needs a better lease program.
You know,
for
Corina, I had 9 Escalades. 9.
I love the Escalade.
I had every conceivable option on every one of them. Matter of fact, I put the big wheels on it, the gold package. I had the complete. All I needed was a rap group and a posse. I mean, it was. I had the right Escalade.
Wait, what are we? We're your posse.
Yeah, wait a minute. I even gave you a rap name. Hold on. Hold on.
The last one I bought was $6,000. It's the same body today. Now they put different technology in it, but it's the same body. They haven't changed the body. I mean, it's the same body.
I agree.
And
but
120,000, 130,000.
Sexy though.
Here's the thing, Jim. The interior is remarkable. I
know that, but not double 100% inflation.
I agree with you, but people buy them, and I can't get enough of them.
Right, supply and demand.
It's supply and demand. And again, if you have a family or you need a big car, they are incredible. The cameras. My son has 4 children, him and his wife. The cameras, the engine, I'm a fan. And again, I
love the Escalade. I just can't afford it anymore.
Whatever. Full of shit.
Whatever. Some vehicles you buy.
Yeah.
Golly, we are down to the end of this show. We have burned an hour. We have burned an hour.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Bobbie, was it as good for you as it was for me?
It was. I didn't have to use a safe word this time, so that's good. But
this has been one heck of a show. Corina, you are absolutely fantastic. I love being around you when I first met you. I love being around you now. You're a great friend.
So sweet.
My wife loves you. I love you. You know, these people love you. I mean, I just wanted people to meet you.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. I enjoyed this. I'd do this again. I know it was hard finding a time, but if you ever want to circle back to other stuff,
we would love to have you back on.
It would be awesome.
And Jennifer and I would love to hang out with you. So even if it's a Zoom cocktail with Miss Debbie.
Oh shit, let's do a real cocktail. No, let's do a real cocktail.
Listen, I have to say, this is Bobbie. How long we've been doing this? Like, this is our 3rd year.
3rd year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is by far the best dealer principle that we've ever had on the show.
I knew you were going to say that.
Everybody is a politically
The
correct,
best. The best.
Look,
right?
Are-
Is
are you-
no, I mean,
No, he's serious. He's serious.
right?
And that's
I'm
something
serious.
like,
There has
he really is.
never been a better dealer principle, more honest and more comfortable, you know, with the way you perceive the world, the OEMs, the economy, the elections, you know, because everybody is, what's the word I'm looking for, is afraid to speak their mind
I
because
don't
they're
know
going
if
to
it's
offend
that
the
of a big
OEM, they're going to
phrase,
offend the
Max.
customer. Karina, thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Everybody wave goodbye to the audience.